Perfect. Dunzo. No, and thank you, Vic. I'm really excited to be giving some trainings. You can expect trainings from here on out every Thursday. Just kind of going over different things. Something you're gonna come to find, guys, is there's more than one way to skin a cat. So, for example, for this training, we're gonna be going over how to submit offers like a pro, like a professional. This is my method of doing things. I think the biggest benefit that we have as professionals, especially as professionals that are a part of a team, is that we can constantly learn from each other, and always just kind of implement different processes into our techniques. Because at the end of the day, I mean, there's a lot of seasoned realtors in this chat right now. Helen, Priscilla, just to name a few, but you're going to come to find, and any good realtor will tell you, that this business is always changing. So you're never going to reach a point where you're complete in your process. There's always going to be something to tweak. There's always going to be something to add. We always need to be adaptable in this industry. Make sense? I hope so. I hope so. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet, sweet. So let's start the presentation. Submitting offers like a professional. I really wanted to start off with a very ancient text. It's an ancient text. It's been around for thousands of years. It's called The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Has anyone read that book or ever heard of that book, The Art of War?
Heard about it.
Okay. Well, I gave it a read a couple of years ago. I mean, in
Yeah,
my
that's
opinion,
Angelo's favorite book.
yes, it is. True that. True that. Um, it's a really good read. I mean, I read it a couple years ago. I thought it was a hard read. But from that book, I was able to extract a specific passage of quotation that's pretty straightforward. Um, let's begin. So again, this book is about quite literally the art of warfare. So what are some strategies and techniques that we can do when we're engaged in warfare, like actual warfare? The time of samurais and strategic battles and things like that. A lot of seasoned realtors are going to agree that this business that we're in, this industry, is a lot like warfare. Not so much that we're fighting people, and getting our hands bloody in that way, but a lot of times you need to know and reflect on what you're capable of, and you need to know and place yourself in the mind of the enemy and kind of strategize, play chess, use psychological warfare to your advantage. And that's really one of the key things, one of the most valuable things that we could bring to the table when we represent our clients. So I'm going to ask someone for a favor. If you could read this passage, because I'm going to be doing a whole lot of talking today, read it. Do we have any volunteers that are down to just give this a quick read?
I'll read it.
Please do. Thank you.
If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of man, I don't have my glasses on. You need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself, but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle.
Thank you, Danielle. It was Danielle that read this?
Affirmative.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so what does it mean? Tell me, guys. I mean, what do you gather from this? There's no right or wrong answers here. But what do you kind of gather from this passage? Tell me. Tell me, what do you get? If not, I got to pick someone.
I think it's saying that you should be sharing what you're doing for yourself. So whatever decision and path you do decide to take, don't let yourself be easily influenced by the people around you, and just go for what you feel is the right way.
I think that's a good way to put it. I think you nailed it on the head. At the end of the day, so to put it quite simply, if you know yourself, if you know what you're capable of, and you also know the enemy that you're battling. So in this case, we're talking about submitting offers. The enemy might be the seller side, the listing agent, right? If you know yourself and you know your enemy, you know the other side and their motivations and what they want out of the deal, you're going to give yourself and your client the highest chance of success. Now, if you only know yourself, you're going to give yourself some chance of success, right? But if you neither know yourself nor the enemy that you're battling, you're going to have a near zero chance of being successful. And you're going to come to find in this business that there's always going to be two dimensions to things. There's things that are going to be under your control, levers that you can pull that could be directly influenced by you, the realtor. But then there's going to be a scope of things where things just quite literally fall outside of your scope, outside of your control. And as professionals in this industry, we owe it to our clients to pull all the levers that we can in order to ensure that our client has the highest chance of success. So I actually brought a special guest here. He's Angelo's friend. I hope he doesn't mind that I borrowed him. Can you guys see him? He's like a samurai warrior. So this whole presentation is going to be about warfare because we quite literally when we talk about Sun Tzu, the art of war, and the topics in this presentation, I want you to imagine this statue, right? Not necessarily to think of some little statue or some little person, but every time we represent our clients, this is quite literally us in our fighting stances. So we need to make sure that we know ourselves and we know the enemy that we're going to confront because the truth of the matter is, guys, that we go to war for our clients. And the best way to handle war is to pull all the levers that are under your influence so that you can have the highest chance of success for your client. And really quickly, the highest chance of success does not always mean getting back a signed offer when you submit offers. The highest chance of success, because again, there's things under your control, there's things outside of your control. Highest chance of success just means we did everything within our power to paint our buyers in a good light and to make sure that they have the highest chance of getting that deal accepted. Whether or not that deal gets accepted or not, there's a portion that's outside of your control. So I want to ask you all a question, like before we dive in, what are some things that we could do? What are some things, some levers that can be pulled to create an aggressive offer? What can be influenced by us?
Having a strong conversation with the listing agent,
I think
understanding what
that's
the seller is looking for.
I think that's a really good one. Yeah. A good deposit, Danielle. We're also gonna be going over that. Thank you for the comment. What else? I need a little bit more.
Strong contingencies.
Yep, that's a good one. Very good. So contingencies like inspection and appraisal, right? And financing. Those are more levers that we could pull to kind of pull offers to pull the highest chance of success in our favor. That's what we're looking for, right? We want the highest chance of our client winning. And that is the value that we could bring as professionals in this industry. So a really quick tip, folks. I know we're talking about submitting offers and how to kind of pull those levers to make sure that we come out winning. But a really important quick tip is the following. The offer submittal process starts before you even show the home. So you must show the seller side before the showing, during the showing, and after showing that you're sharp and that you know this business because you want to convey an energy. You want to convey that you're the agent that knows this business and can get this deal closed. So the best listing agents in our profession know that deals depend upon the sharpness of the buyer's agent. So for example, usually when we're scheduling properties for our clients, what we do is we either send a text to the realtor, right? Or we give them a call to schedule something. So a very important strategy that we need to keep in mind, because we do it so often, right? We're constantly calling, sending texts, trying to fill our buyer itineraries. But there's something you always need to have in the back of your mind is that there is a chance that that house you're working on scheduling at that moment is going to be the home that your buyer wants to place an offer on, right? So for example, when I call a listing agent to set up an appointment, it's a little bit of theater, it's psychology, but you want to demonstrate that you're somebody that knows what they're talking about. So for example, I call them, just kind of conveying energy of, hey, look, looking to show this property. When you hang up with that listing agent, always send a text right after. Listing agent, it was great speaking with you. As per our conversation, I'll see you for our showing on Friday at 6 p.m. See you there. It's just a quick little text, but it's those things that show listing agents, hey, this buyer agent is sharp and they know what they're talking about. Because there are scenarios, guys, where you could be placing an offer for your client. You have a multiple offer situation, and let's say you're not quite the highest offer, maybe you're shy by $5,000. There could very well be a scenario where the listing agent advises their seller, hey seller, I know that we have this offer that's $5,000 more. However, just a heads up, from my interactions with that agent, they weren't very communicative. They really weren't on their game. They did not show up to the showing on time. And you and I both know that the decision does not rest with us, the realtors, it sides with the seller. Same thing for buyer's agent. The decision resides with the buyer's agent. And if a listing agent ever has that conversation and you're one of the runner ups that submitted an offer, you want to be on the side where the agent says, this offer that came in at $5,000 less. However, agent was communicative, they're sharp. Mr. Seller, I know this is $5,000 more, but if we're really looking to close, this may be the right representation, the right buyer's agent that's really going to get it done, even if it's just $5,000. So these are things that really happen in the business. And if you're ever a part of that conversation, you want to be on the side where you were the realtor that came off as professional and sharp. You don't want to be on the side of the sloppy realtor because it could end up costing you the deal. Does
Yeah,
that
and
make
that
sense?
I like to add to that that like maybe a lot of people probably don't think of this, but I do. I when I'm considering offers, there's also slight consideration put into who am I working with. And not all realtors do that, but I do that, and I'm assuming there are realtors out there who do that for sure. And like being professional, sending a text, like just doing those things that make me feel like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. He's very professional. Even if you're maybe not necessarily the best offer, I'll try to see if you can be the best offer so that because I would prefer to work with you. I don't necessarily always do that, but
But it
definitely
happens.
it does happen. It does happen
It
for sure.
happens. It
Yeah.
happens. So again, what are we trying to do? It's not always in our control if we get back the signed offer, but we want to ensure the highest chance of success. So in that same light, during showing, sometimes you're gonna meet the listing agent, sometimes you're gonna have the sellers right then and there. Literally, the decision makers are in front of you. So not only do you want to look professional, but feel free to lay on the charm. You want these sellers to like you. You want the listing agent to like you as well. Because again, psychologically speaking, these things are going to matter. These are levers that are being pulled in your direction and the direction of your client, the buyer. So, just something to keep in mind. Offer submittal starts way, way, way before you even submit the offer. It's all about theater, presentation, and how you conduct yourself. You want to show that you know what you're talking about, whether you're talking to the seller, there at the showing, or speaking with the listing agent or meeting with them there. So again, gonna bring up my friend, Mr. Sun Tzu. Remember, this is us. This is us fighting for our clients. Before you know your enemy, you need to know yourself. So what are the possible offer terms that you can offer to sellers? Before really the negotiation that goes into submitting offers, you want to have an idea on your own buyer scenario and what are the things that realistically they can offer. What are the cards that are in your hand that maybe you can add to your offer in order to give you that chance of standing out amongst the other offers. So you want to have an idea of the cards that you're dealing with. So length of inspection period. You can play with the inspection period length to make the offer more aggressive. The less inspection period, the stronger the offer is going to be. How quickly or slowly can you close? Now, not every seller wants to close quickly. Are your buyers willing to wait a little bit longer if it means that they can get the deal signed? Earnest money deposit, just like Danielle mentioned, that is another lever that we can tweak on our offers. We can raise it and make it an even stronger offer. Length of loan approval period. I mean, always get the okay from your lender if you're doing under 30 days. Most lenders do. I mean, they can meet the 21 days. If you have a lender that's doing 30 days, I mean, that's a little bit of an older way of working. 21 days is really the typical what I see between 21, 25 days. I've seen the Llamas team close it in 21 days or less. So it's very realistic. And is your buyer open to offering a post occupancy if it is needed? Not every buyer can offer that. And sometimes just having that contingency, giving the sellers peace of mind that they could stay in the property after closing, whether it be for 15 or 30 days, it could kind of make or break the deal. I've personally experienced that before. So again, before you know the enemy, we need to know ourselves. What are the cards that we can play? And keep in mind, you don't always want to reveal all your cards. You don't want to send every offer with 3 days inspection and 20 days of loan contingency. No, you want to use the cards accordingly, according to the scenario of the seller. So you're ready to submit your offer. What is your first and most important step? It's actually the step that Priscilla highlighted first, and it's going to be giving the listing agent a call and asking calculated questions. Guys, if we can avoid it, I mean 99.9% of the time, you should not be sending offers without speaking and connecting with the listing agent first. Because you want to be able to ask those calculated questions. And again, you want to know what the seller needs. What is their motivation, right? We're trying to tailor our offers according to the seller's needs and motivation. There may be very, very few times where you have to submit a blind offer where, hey, the listing agent really isn't picking up, replying to emails, nothing from their broker. They're really not responsive. And it's looking like they're coming up to accept an offer soon. And hey, I mean, shoot your shot, send the blind offer. But again, I really want to discourage that from being the norm because that is a very big lever that we can pull that most agents do not do. If you're the agent that calls them, uh, you come across as professional, you ask them questions on the scenario, then trust me, that's another lever that's gonna give you and your client again the highest chance of success, the highest chance of winning. So how do we have that call? What is the best way to handle the call with the listing agent? We again, like I told you from the beginning, there's more than one way to skin a cat. I'm gonna have like a mini Q&A after the presentation in case we have any other strategies that we want to share. But the very first question when I speak to the listing agent that I like to ask is, look, my client likes a home. Uh, we're interested in placing an offer. What is seller looking for in their offers? What would they like to see in their offers? Because we'd really like a chance to stand out. And when you ask this, very important, guys, you need to really listen. Active listening. Do not speak. Do not interrupt them. You know, kind of use the pause, use the silence. We need to be very comfortable in silence. Use the silence to your advantage and listen to the seller's needs and motivation, because at the end of the day, everything they mention, if they tell you, well, look, seller's really looking for less than 10 days of inspection. They're looking for, you know, a max of 25 days of loan contingency. They may be interested in a post occupancy, for example. This is a part where you really need to listen, because again, this is going to be your ammunition that you can use in your offer. So first question is, what is seller looking for in their offers? And then you listen. And after that, what do we do? Once they give us that ammunition, they tell us the seller scenario, what the seller wants to see. What do we do now that we know our enemy? What I like to do personally in my process is you repeat back those things that the seller wants to see in their offers. You know, you don't want to, because obviously, as agents and buyer's agents, we're going to have our own questions. But you don't want to start the conversation by just hammering them with your own questions before even speaking to them and finding out what the seller is looking for. So, again, if they said, you know, always repeat back the seller's needs back to them, because we want to tailor our offer according to those needs. So let's say they said they want to see 7 days inspection, 21 days loan approval, and a post occupancy. Then I'll say, well, look, we can give you the 7 day inspection. You know, I confirmed with my lender that we can do the 21 days loan approval. And I spoke to my buyers already. They are open to a post occupancy if they need to do it. But also what I want to speak about, you know, that's when you ask your questions, because you want to give a sense of reciprocation. We can give you these A, B, and C, but on my end, this is what I want to see. These are my expectations, right? Because we're gonna have our own questions, right? So you spit back what they want to see in their offers, and then you ask. So look, I mean, level with me. Do you have any offers at this time? Do you think the property will appraise? How flexible are we on purchase price? I mean, let's talk commission, right? Because that's a very big thing, especially after the NAR stuff. You know, this is reciprocation, guys. It's like when you go to the car dealer, they offer you a cup of coffee. It's really not out of the kindness of their hearts. They want to use that psychology to their advantage. If they give you a cup of coffee, in your subconscious, you're gonna feel like you owe them something, like you owe them the deal, like you need to walk out of that dealership with a car. So in that same light, we as professionals want to use reciprocation when we have that conversation with the listing agent. Make sense so far? Okay. So the next thing, now it's actually time to send your offer, right? You had the conversation with the listing agent. Again, from before, during the showing, and after in the offer submittal process, again, we are always using psychological warfare. It's very important, right? We need to show that we're professionals. We can't show that we're short term in our thinking. We cannot afford to be short term in this business. So when you send that offer, when now the time arrives that you're ready to send the offer, you want to make it as tidy, as clean as possible. For example, you know, have the subject line include the subject property address. You want to make sure it's tidy. Again, when you have your signed contract from your buyer, you need to combine the main offer, every corresponding addendum into one PDF. Now, I like to use this site. It's free, quick, efficient, combinedpdf.com, just to kind of merge those PDFs, because I don't like to send an offer with like 20 attachments and kind of scramble the listing agent's head, or scramble the seller's head. We want to be tidy. Again, this is psychology. We want it to be as easy as possible for the seller to go ahead and just sign away, just sign our offer. We want to make it easy for them to do that. And this might be personal preference. I mean, I like to attach the approval letter from your lender separately. You know, I've seen agents that put it in their actual offer. Vic, I don't know how you feel about that, but I mean, I don't need the seller seeing, contacting the lender. I'll leave that up to the listing agent. But personally, I like to attach the pre-approval letter separately.
Well,
So that
yeah, I attach the pre-approval separate too, and then
okay.
usually the contract depends on how it's given to me, but I either combine it or I'll have it separate. It just depends. But
Okay, next.
I like combining it because it's everything in one shot. You're not you know um so when you download from DocuSign, if you did a DocuSign, I don't know if Form Simplicity does that, but when you go to DocuSign, you can download the forms and you can select an option to combine all the signed documents.
Oh,
So
sick.
yeah, or you can do combinepdf.com. That works too.
Yeah, I haven't seen that on Form Simplicity. Maybe there's a way, but worst case scenario, I mean, we can use combined PDF. You want to leave it clean. You want to make it easy for them to sign. Very considerate, very demure. Obviously, you want to make sure that it's easy for them to sign their life away. And
I have a question.
of course, tell me.
What does that mean by very demure? Can you explain
It's
that?
like it's a new thing. I gotta show it to you more than anything. I gotta show it to you. You'll understand. Um, it's just a thing that's going around. I don't know. It's silly, but remind me to show you, Vic.
Okay, bro. I was just curious. I just never heard of the term before.
Thank you, Brody. Thank you. And no, but seriously, guys, we want to be very mindful, very demure, because again, that is another big lever that might make or break the signing of our offer. And again, we want the highest chance of success. That does not mean getting the signed offer. It means doing everything that's under our control so that we can sleep well at night, knowing that we pulled all the levers, did everything that's up to us to make sure that our buyers, our client comes out winning. That is a value that you as professionals can bring into this business. So lastly, also on the offer email, I like to leave a next step, and I'll show you that in the next slide, like just kind of to have something to look forward to. I think it doesn't hurt. Maybe it's a little bit of manifesting as well, kind of make it seem like it's a done deal. I like to do it for both those reasons, to give them a next step and just to kind of slightly manifest the deal in my favor. So email template. This is just a quick example, kind of like a template for how I submit offers. Again, guys, my way is not 100% always going to be the right way, but we're here to learn from each other, and there's more than one way to skin a cat. So you're going to notice the subject line, offer for. You're going to want the subject property address in there. I mean, if it's a family, I'll put like Rodriguez family, something like that, just to kind of show like, it's a family that's moving in here. It's not an investor, something like that. Again, it's always psychological warfare, guys. So attachments, ideally, guys, no more than 2 attachments. You want to make it look clean, pristine, like it's fate that brought that offer to the seller's table. You want to make it seem that way. And the next step, you know, just my body of the email. I say, hello, listing agent. Great speaking with you today. Thank you for your time. Please find attached offer along with a pre-approval letter. We can move as fast or as slow as you need because again, a lot of sellers want to move quickly, but that's not every seller scenario. We want to convey that we can move quickly or we can move slowly if we have to. And then the next step, the manifest. Will Wednesday be a good day to schedule that inspection? You know, give them that next step. Give them something to look forward to. It's a small little comment, but again, we're trying to pull all the things that we can in our favor when we submit these offers. And very important, make it look clean, pristine. No grammatical errors if you can help it. Have your signature there. You know, this is all a part of making the deal happen. And a quick tip, you can also CC your lender, advise in your email that listing agent can reach out to them directly if there's any questions on financing. You know, some agents just kind of want to do that due diligence for their seller, so they'll want to speak to the lender, to the person in charge of financing, to, you know, to make sure that it's a solid deal. So if a listing agent does that, I mean, chances are they know what they're talking about. They're exactly, Priscilla. That is transparency at the end of the day, right? You're involving the expert that is responsible for the financing. So you're showing them, you're being transparent with them that they can reach out to the lender and essentially hear it from the horse's mouth. You know, it's not just coming from you. It's not just an approval letter. Um, you know, I very much encourage that. You know, your lender's gonna know how to have that conversation and just kind of add confidence to your offer. It's gonna help pull that lever and pull that offer acceptance in your direction. Last step, stay professional to the end. I mentioned something earlier that I want to touch back on, and it's we cannot be short sighted in this business because you will lose out on deals. You'll lose money if you're short sighted in this business. And I'm going to explain to you what that means. We're trying to achieve the highest chance of success. Again, it does not always mean that you'll get back a signed contract. You send an offer, one of three things will happen. The best case scenario is the offer gets accepted as is. Congratulations. You did your job. In my book, you sold the home because now you're under contract. Whether or not it closes is a separate conversation. But the home has been sold. You did your job. Now you need to guide it to closing. So that is best case scenario. The offer gets signed as is and you're under contract. And 30, 45 days later, you know, you get paid. You get paid. Scenario number two, seller counters your offer. So fully signed, and Vic, just to kind of confirm this, because I know the guidelines change at times. Because when you get back a signed counter offer, sometimes that could be the stepping stone into your deal. It'll open up the conversation. But seller should be locked into your offer for 2 days. Is that still the case, Vic?
Yeah, that's correct. That's what the contract says.
Perfect, perfect.
Unless it's changed, but I'm pretty sure I haven't heard that that has changed.
Gotcha. Cool, cool, cool. So, guys, if you get back a signed counter offer, obviously it's not a signed offer as is, but it opens up the conversation. And as long as it's a fully executed signed counter offer, so every page is initialed, every field for initials is filled in, and every signature line is in place, you have yourself a signed, an executed signed counter offer, and contractually that seller cannot make a decision on another property for 2 days. So you have them locked in for 2 days. Now, just a quick tip on the side. If I'm ever on the listing agent side and I send a counter offer, um, I'll send a counter offer and I'll put in all the initials, but I'm not gonna have my seller sign that last page. Because I mean, again, guys, we're going to war. We're battling for our clients. I'm not gonna lock my seller into an offer and then tomorrow I get a higher offer. You know, I want to give them the ability to go with that other offer if it comes in within those next 2 days. So that's something I do. I mean, just I gotta look out for my people, my champions, right? So I think it's a good strategy because you never know if tomorrow or on day number two a higher offer comes in and now you can't move up on it because you sent a fully signed executed counter offer to a buyer. But that's on the selling side. We're talking about buyer's agents, right? So on the buyer's agent side, another quick tip is do not let listing agents try to bully you into sending multiple new offers. I've had agents try to tell me, hey, look, please resend the offer using changing this amount. And I know from personal experience because I used to make that change every time. I would say, hey, look, here's the offer. Then they say, hey, look, I spoke to seller. Please adjust the offer, get it signed again, and send a brand new offer. So I'll do it again. I had to learn the hard way that you need to negotiate from a position of leverage, folks, because a lot of times agents will try to bully us to pin multiple offers against each other just to go with another offer that's not even yours. So what is a good retort, a good reply to that? If a listing agent asks you to make a change, say, hey, listing agent, thank you for the feedback. But look, we've had situations in the past with this client where sellers have us send multiple offers and then go with another offer. We need to make sure that, we want to do our due diligence, make sure the seller is serious about our offer. So have them send a signed counter offer so that, my buyer can feel more confident that your seller's truly considering us. And when you get that signed counter offer, you want to make sure it's fully executed, so that that you have a completely executed signed counter offer from the seller and they're going to be locked into you for the next 2 days by contract. And then, so again, we're going over the three scenarios. Either seller signs your offer as is, congratulations. Seller counters your offer. I'd still say congratulations. It's a stepping stone into the right direction. Sometimes it takes that to get the yes. You can't get a no to a yes without a maybe in between sometimes. But then scenario number 3 is going to be the following. Seller rejects offer and goes with another. So guys, this is where I really want to bring back that other thing I mentioned. We cannot be short-sighted because deals fall through all the time. And I've had this happen to me where seller doesn't go with my offer, deal falls through, and then they're in my inbox, they're giving me calls again about that offer. Again, we can't be short-sighted. It's such a small business too that you as professionals need to stay professional to the end. So even if a listing agent is unprofessional with you, even if they go with another offer, you say, hey, thank you for considering our offer. Do continue to keep us in the conversation if anything changes. Send that text out. Again, it's such a small business and we cannot be short-sighted because if 5 days later the offer falls through, that agent has a higher chance of including you in that conversation if you stayed professional to the end. You don't want to be caught in a situation where, as we say, le manda pa'l carajo, right? And then, you don't want to tell someone off and find yourself in front of that agent down the line in the future because again, it's such a small business. You may be interacting with an agent today, but you're probably going to see them on the next deal, whether it be a year from now, a couple months from now. It's a very, very tiny business. Always stay professional to the end, even in the face of bad news, so that you can show, hey, look, you can show on that next deal, hey, look, it didn't work out last time, but they'll see the text history, for example, right? Don't leave these agents, these other people in our professions on red. Show that you are professional. You're always going to reply back because when you're in front of them for that second or third deal and they're going to send you a text or you send them a text, they're going to see that whole text history. And then it might remind them of whether you were professional or you were unethical as a realtor. Does that make sense, guys? I hope so. I hope so. That's an important one. And that's it. That's it. I really just wanted to kind of give an open floor, right? The main idea, guys, is the value that you bring as professionals is that you care for your clients and you're going to do everything in your power to ensure that your side comes out winning while always being professional, always being courteous. That is a value that you bring that 90% of realtors do not have. Because if it's not you doing the deal for them, guys, it's probably going to be another agent that's going to do the deal and cares half as much about that client. So really respect yourselves, respect the work that you do, because there's a lot of value that you could bring, and you could really make a good name for yourself, especially in this muck, especially with all the unprofessionalism that we find in our industry in South Florida. This is the value that you bring, and this is how you can stand out as a professional. So guys, let me know any questions. If I also want to encourage you, like if you have any other strategies that I did not mention, again, there's more than one way of doing things. You know, what strategies did I not include that perhaps you guys do that we can fill our process with?
Hey guys, I loved it. Yeah, and what David says is very true. You know, our clients hire us and they put our trust in us, and they put our trust in us that we're gonna help them, uh, buy their first home or their investment property. So the least we can do is, make sure we're submitting their offers and representing them in the best way possible. So I agree. The only thing
Absolutely.
I typically add is in my emails, I typically add a little summary of the basic terms. I'm sure you've seen that before,
Oh
David,
yeah, that's true.
where I'll add there what's my on the body of the email. I'll write everything you wrote. Everything you wrote is there, but like below that, I'll add, hey, here's a quick summary of the main terms, and I'll put purchase price, escrow deposit, down payment, loan contingency days, inspection days, and closing date. Like
Like a
just
snapshot, like a
just a quick
snapshot of the
snapshot
deal.
of the main terms.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like that.
But I'll write everything you wrote, but I'll include that below, and then that's it.
I'm
And
gonna
that's
start
the
doing
only
it. Yeah, I like that. And
difference
it, and it's
that I
true.
make.
It shows you have a process, a template. Like it's this is not the first offer that you're submitting. So I think that's a gold little nugget there.
Oh yeah. Oh, and like I copy and paste it, so a lot of times the emails are very similar. So I'll just go to another offer. When I'm about to write an offer, I just open up a previous offer. I copy and paste it into a new email because the it's gonna be similar. You know what I mean? I
True, I
gotta
do that.
change a few things, but it'll be very, very similar.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that too. But any questions, folks? I mean, this is just the first training. There's more to come. They're gonna be Thursdays, 11:30.
No, man, I think it's great. I think you covered everything. I don't know. I don't know if anybody has any questions, but I think you covered everything.
Awesome.
Is there any other meetings next meetings? When's the next meeting? So next Thursday. Yeah, so guys, I'm doing a training tomorrow. It's a very basic training. I'm doing it for some new agents. But it's just the whole buying process from start to finish. I'll have it up on Zoom too. Um, and then every Thursday, we're gonna have these sessions with David, just kind of going deeper into specific subjects, like today, like submitting offers. These are things that sometimes, when I do the trainings, I kind of talk about it, but I don't go so deep into it like David is doing today. So that's the whole point of these trainings with David every Thursday is that he's gonna go deeper into specific subjects so that and show examples and really show you how to do certain things so that you put yourself in the best position possible. So
Sweet. All right, thank you guys for joining. Thank you for your time. I'll see you on Thursday, right?
yep.
Always give
And
that
then
next
next,
step. Remember.
all right, guys.
One more thing. We're gonna be starting a book club. We're gonna be going over the Sun Tzu, the Art of War. What is it? I can't listen. If any of you guys are interested in
There
joining
he
the
is.
book club, it'll be 20 minutes, 30 minutes max to go over a passage for the day, once a week. Really good stuff. Just in general, what David talked about.
Remember.
So,
Yeah, we're warriors. We're warriors. We're fighting for our clients.
yeah.
No, it's about business.
Yeah.
Well, it's about business. And by the way, you know that you said that it's a very hard read. They have a translated version.
Yeah, this is right here.
Oh, that's right. Yes, you mentioned that. Yeah, I probably got to try that version.
Yeah, the one that you're looking at right now in the camera, that one actually has the language of the art of war, and then on the other side of the page, they translate it to more of a business. Huh?
Modern translation type.
Sorry, Priscilla's está jodiendo ahí. Yeah.
Hell yeah, mount up. It's true. It's true. You guys, it's a very nice opportunity we have. It's a very nice business that we're in. We have a chance to do a lot of good. So let's use it. Because if the business is not with you, it's gonna be with someone else that really doesn't care about that client at the same level you do. So see you guys next Thursday. Thank you,
David.
and
Thanks, David.
have a
Thanks,
wonderful
David.
week. Training tomorrow. With Vic.
Yep, 12:30 tomorrow. I'll post about it. All right, I'll put it on the WhatsApp. I'll remind
Yeah.
everybody.
And email us, please, as a reminder.
Oh,
Yep.
true. Thank you, bro.